Well, what's going on, boys? It's the JIZZ, and in today's video, guys, we're bringing you the updated tier list for 12.5, so there's still a lot of time left in this patch to climb the ranks. So what we're going to do in this video is give you the tiers for each role. So we're revealing the best champions, the worst champions, so to know who the best performing champs are, there's no speculation here. This is all real, this is all based off the stats and data we have, so make sure you stick around for the whole video. And also, if you haven't already, to master any of the champions we talk about in this video, and also the roles we mentioned, if you want to master them, there is one destination, that's GameLeap.com. Our website is linked in the description and comment section, and this will help you achieve your goals, your dreams on League of Legends. We have the exclusive content, which is uploaded daily on our website by our challenger players and coaches. So to make sure you peak on Summoner's Rift in Season 12, make sure you check out those links and get signed up, and let's get into the tier list. So let's start by talking about the best and worst top laners, and you can see that in the T1 tier, there is a new addition, and this is Hullbreaker Alawi. And ever since she got her base attack speed buffed and her W buffed last patch, Alawi has taken off and has become one of the most dominant top laners. And it's kind of exciting because I can't remember the last time I mentioned Alawi as being an amazing top laner, but that's what she is right now. Because Hullbreaker as well got changed for ranged champions, it got nerfed, it didn't actually get changed for melee champions, so it's still as broken as ever on Alawi as a first item. And this is also the same for Trundle and Tryndamere, who are also in the T1 tier. And of course, alongside these bad boys, we have Riven, who with those updated item changes in 12.3, she is going to be in this top tier indefinitely. Like, until Riot either nerf the champion or her items, Riven is going to stay in the top tier. Now, elsewhere in the top lane tier list for the rest of 12.5, there are some new additions to Loki Broken. So we have Karma coming in, who's getting played a heck of a lot more in the mid and top lane roles. And we also have Kayle here, who's really been forgotten. And I've also got a bit of a special build for Kayle that I'll share with you in our builds video for 12.6. Now, we also have Ryze in Loki Broken because tank Ryze actually suits the top lane. He's hard to kill, he has mobility with phase rush, and he's also a great late game split pusher, which is really what you need these days to go into this Hullbreaker top lane meta. Now, we also have Zac in here, who we'll probably elaborate on in a later video, but Zac top is getting a lot more play. And as for the rest of the tier list, guys, it's pretty standard because there haven't been that many revelations, I guess. But one champion who is hating 12.5 is Gwen, and this champion got nerfed big time in 12.5, and her win rate has dropped so much since those nerfs came in. This is why she's now in the C tier. And as far as the TSM tier goes, you really shouldn't be picking Kalista or Viego in this solo top lane role. They are just way too weak and way too killable, and it's just too high risk, and the reward isn't even that great. You're better off playing one of these other champions. So that was the top lane tier list for the rest of 12.5. Now let's head to the other solo lane, this of course being the mid lane. And as far as the T1 tier goes, a bit like the top lane, not much is really changing, but there is a new addition, this being Akshan. And the reason why Akshan is here is because in the mid lane, there's lots of magic damage. And for Akshan, if you can rush a Wit's End, you can really cut these champions while still maintaining all of your offensive threat, because maxing your E first, you deal so much damage. You don't have to go Noon Quiver and then Shield Bow. You can get a Wit's End, which is giving you on hit, attack damage, attack speed. That's all you need. And you cannot die to these mages because you have the magic resist from Wit's End as well. So Akshan sneaks his way into T1, and just like the top lane, the rest of this tier list should make a lot of sense. You can see in S tier that we have Lethal Tempo Tryndamere, we have Vex, who's still really good, Yone, Zed, Victor, Cassidy, all these champions are still big carry champions. But if we just look at Loki Broken, we have Karma in here, just like the top lane. In a solo lane, Karma, because she's bringing so much utility to a team, and most of the time your teammates are going to have damage, Karma can boost them, protect them, and enable them to carry even more. But we also have Rumble and Zoe here too, and you might be like, why are these champions here? I mean Rumble in particular, because this dude got his armor buff. Isn't that better for top lane or in the jungle? Well, let's think about it. Because in the mid lane, against ranged champions, lots of their damage, funnily enough, is going to come from their auto attack. And guess what? Because that's attack damage, because you have more base armor now, their harass really just tickles you. You don't have to worry about nearly as much in the mid lane, so Rumble's actually super underrated still, just like Zoe. She has an incredibly good win rate for a very killable champion, especially in high reloads, which just goes to show how good she is. And I'll definitely elaborate on these in a later video, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that crucial information. But if you do play the mid lane, guys, there are two champions I don't really want you picking, these being JIZZ and then Nocturne. These two, JIZZ, you can play him in the top lane to much greater effect, and Nocturne exactly the same thing, just pick him in the jungle, you're going to have a much better time of it. Now let's head to the last solo tier list in this video, and this of course is the jungle. And in the T1 tier list, we have two new additions since last time, these being Master Yi and Volibear. And even though Yi has been hotfix nerfed, the dude's win rate is still around 53-54%, the highest in the entire game, and that's pretty much in every single elo. This champion is just beyond busted, and there is no doubt in my mind he will 100% 100% get nerfed in 12.6. So guys, free LP, it's waiting there, just lock in the Wuju Bladesman, but also locking in Volibear could give you free LP as well. Volley is getting picked a heck of a lot more in the pro scene and also in higher elos, and this is now starting to filter into other elos, and just from his stats alone, in like every single elo, he has above a 52% win rate. That's how good and consistent this champion is. And of course, we still have Hecarim and Kha'Zix here, and for the rest of the tier, just like the top and mid lane, much of it is staying the same, but unfortunately for Gwen players, she's gone all the way down to TSM tier. She is just absolute dog water, toilet tier at the moment. Please do not pick her in the jungle. And I almost forgot about another big mover, because dropping from S tier, this is Xin Zhao making his way down to B tier, and unfortunately for Xin Zhao, the nerfs in 12.5 have definitely meant something. This champion's win rate is around 48-49%, and this used to be a few percent higher. He was picked and banned in pro play, picked and banned in higher elo, but now he's really a shade of his former self. So unfortunately for Xin Zhao, he is in the B tier for the rest of 12.5. But now let's change the mood and talk about the bot lane, and we'll start by talking about the tier list for AD carry. And for AD carries, not much really changed, apart from the fact that Zeri is still kind of broken, and she's actually going to get nerfs in 12.6, according to some of the Riot devs on Twitter. Now apart from this, in T1, Jinx, Vayne, can we really argue this? These three champions are still the primary ADCs. But just below them, we do still have Veigar. This champion, despite getting his armor nerfed a couple of patches ago, is still performing at too high of a level. This champion is just way too deadly in a lane where there's two enemy champions who you can trap in your cage, and when you have your support and jungler ganking for you as well, it's pretty devastating and very hard to actually avoid. So he's in S tier alongside Twitch, Yasuo, Zeri still, and Ziggs, who is a new addition on the tier list. And even though of course Ziggs has been played as an AP carry bot lane for a while, I thought it would be necessary to put him in this tier list because he's performing at such a high level, with the best AD carries as well, in particular Jhin and Jinx. And you also see in higher elos of Felios picked more. He does extremely well into these immobile AD carries. His bombs become a real pain in the you-know-what to deal with, and because Liandry's with the buffed Archangels, which is still 2600 gold, he has to be in consideration. Now we also have Samira, who did get buffed this patch, but the buffs weren't really that huge. This is why she's remaining in A tier, and she also might not be happy with the new Immortal Shield bow and lifesteal changes coming in 12.6, so we'll see how she reacts to these. But for the most part, just like the other tier list, everything else really falls into place. But we probably should point out that Senna is the only AD carry in the TSM tier, and this is because of the Mistwraith drop rate a few patches ago. It's much better to play Senna as a support, so please guys, just like JIZZ we talked about for the mid lane and Nocturne, you're much better playing Senna purely as a support, especially with that 20% Q slow. It is just too busted in that role. But let's talk about the last tier list for 12.5. This of course being the support, and you can see the Renata class, the newest champion in League, who to be honest could have the most broken kit in League of Legends history. She's actually dropped from T1 tier down to S tier. Now this is because of the hotfix nerfs, and her win rate has actually dropped a little bit. It's not as high as it was, around like 53% in every elo, so Renata has actually been replaced in the T1 tier by Tahm Kench. And ever since Riot changed this champion, where you've got more Q slow, your thick skin, your grey health works pretty much only in the bot lane, because in the top lane you're just by yourself and there's only one enemy champion, and also your ultimate now is one of the best peeling abilities in the game. And for AD carries, let's be honest, like they always need peel, especially in lower elos, because they don't know what range means. So Tahm Kench has so much agency in every elo. And let me just put it this way, in Challenger right now, this dude has a 57% win rate. If that doesn't tell you how good he is, then I don't know what will. So Tahm Kench in the T1 tier. Now if we just look at low-key broken for a second, we still have some champions in here from last time around. So we still have a Mumu, Galio, and Talia, and we'll definitely touch on these in future videos, but these champions are underrated. They're played nowhere near enough in the support role, but that's because lots of people don't know what to build, the rune setup, so we'll definitely touch on these in the future. So once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that information. But I just want to point out one more champion in this support tier list, guys, because I got asked in the comments, why is Nidalee not on the support tier list? Well, that's because she's trash. So if you don't see a champion on one of these tier lists, there's a very good chance that they're just TSM bad. Otherwise, I'd be putting so much rando stuff on here. So I just wanted to put Nidalee in the TSM tier to answer that question. And those were the tier lists, guys, for the rest of 12.5. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the tiers. And of course, if you want these to continue, leave a like down below on the video. And I will see you in tomorrow's daily upload. This, of course, has been Coach JIZZ, otherwise known as the JIZZ. Peace.